Hey, it's Mark Lanier with your video thought for the day. All right, so this week I've been looking at building construction metaphors for a godly life. And I've dealt with different aspects of that. Today, I want to continue looking at those metaphors. But whereas earlier I've talked about God being the architect and in a sense the general contractor, I've talked about us building on the firm foundation of God and His Word. I've talked about how we contribute to building others people's houses. We are part of the construction crew, if you will. Today I want the emphasis to be a little bit different. Now, I want to talk about building materials. I like to build. Make no bones about it. I love to build houses. I love to build offices. I love to build just all sorts of things. And I watch other people build as well. And it's always struck me as interesting that in America, typically, we build for a limited time period. After all, how long are you going to live in your house? Now, true, when you're through, you want to sell it to someone else, but a lot of American homes are built not for the length of time that in long ago years, homes might be built with, and especially over in Europe. It's not at all uncommon in England to find a house that's 400, 500, 600 years old. It's been modernized, but it's still being lived in. And buildings were built. There are schools. Heavens, you can go to Oxford University and walk the university halls of New College. It's new because it was built in 1375 or something like that. And so it's considered new because it's almost just 700 years old. And these buildings are still there because they were built with incredible building materials. Now, Paul, in a letter to the Corinthians, grabbed this metaphor. And he says, when we are constructing our lives, when we're constructing our communities, we need to keep in mind this idea of what materials we're going to use to build with. He says, you can build with wood, hay, stubble, but those things are not going to last. Anybody who remembers the story of the three little pigs knows that once the big bad wolf comes and he huffs and he puffs, he'll blow down the house made out of wood or sticks and the house made out of straw. So you can build with those things, but you're building something that's very temporary. Or you can build with stone and gold and silver and things that are precious, that keep a value and last for seemingly ever. Where do you want to put your energy? What do you want to be building with? Well, obviously, we'd rather build with the lasting materials in our lives. But what exactly does that mean? I would suggest to you that as you think through this, a good starting point would be, we've got a God that lasts forever. And so if we're building materials with a focus on Him and a focus on what He values, then we're building in ways that will last. And that's true whether we're talking about building your marriage or building your relationship with your children or building your relationship with your friends or your parents. If we will build it in godly ways, we will see those relationships last in a way that they won't if we're building them based on our own desires, contrary to God's. That's something to think about because you and I are builders, and this is your video thought for the day.